How many days has Formula One gone without something extraordinary happening? 0.000. Yes, ever since Max Verstappen hit that bollard in Miami, we have seemingly entered a world where anything is possible in this sport which we love. The latest twist, identical times at the front of the field. George Russell is on pole and chasing a second career victory at the Canadian Grand Prix of 2024.
All of the cars except the Haas are on the Inters. The two Haas's are on those X-Wets. Will that work out for them? We'll have to find out.
This has the potential to be very special. The race to turn one is moments away. There's the green flag. The 9th round of the season begins in 5 lights time. And the Canadian Grand Prix is underway. They crawl off the line with George Russell chopping across Max Verstappen as they make their way to turn number 1. The plumes of spray are raised and the top 4 are in the same position. Fernando Alonso gets past Daniel Ricciardo to the apex of turn 2. A huge amount of standing water on the racetrack as they squeeze the throttle. The only change was Alonso up to 5th. The top 4 in the order that they left the line. We've got drama behind momentarily with the yellow flag. They're now beginning to feel out the conditions here in Montreal.
Alonso's on the prowl, Piastri fighting the car coming through turn 5. There's the lingering spray, and the difficulty right now is just immense. Piastri into turn 6, still ahead of Fernando Alonso, who made the gain. So too has Lewis Hamilton come past Daniel Ricciardo as well. So Ricciardo, great qualifying yesterday. He's dropped back a couple of positions, and Leclerc's up in the top 10.
The cars are squirming all over the road. Magnussen on the full wet tyre just went around the outside of Alexander Albon. He's up to 11th place. That full wet working at the moment because it is really, really wet out there, and the drivers are struggling to apply the power.
Well, Magnussen's the driver to make the most of it on an opening lap. He's always so aggressive, and in the back of shot you can see him having a look on the Ferrari as well.
Oh, and deep into the corner goes the Ferrari, and that looks like Charles Leclerc losing a position as Magnussen has gone up the order here. It's working for him at this stage. He's up 5 places from where he started the Grand Prix on that full wet tyre.
So it looks genius right now, the full wet, but he's got to take it a long way, and again he's side by side with Stroll for the top 8 now.
Magnussen carving through the field. George Russell is your leader, ahead of Verstappen, off the road ahead, and dropping down the order we go. That is the Ferrari slipping back. Sainz is down there in 14th. Charles Leclerc finds himself down to 10th. Further back we go, and you can see Sergio Perez close there with Gasly.
Slightly sliding, Gasly coming across him a little bit, all trying to find a bit of space on a narrow circuit.
5-second penalty for Daniel Ricciardo for a false start. That is not the news the 8-time Grand Prix winner would want to hear. That could cost him. The gainers, Alonso and then Hamilton. Magnussen is going all the way to the front of the field as it stands. He's passing people for fun, and he's up 7 places from where he started.
Hulkenberg joining the fun as well for Haas, up into 12th. That's a move from him, still sliding on the full wet there past Alex Albon. They're flying at the moment. It's so fun when you're in this position as a Haas driver, trying to charge your way through. Both of them making good gains. 7 places for Magnussen, 5 for Hulkenberg. But it's a long race. Everyone else that's chosen the intermediate as Ocon flinging the car through. The grip level's just so low. Magnussen's past Hamilton.
Magnussen gets another one. He is having the time of his life. The driver who started in Formula One with a trip to the podium and has never been back since. Passing left, passing right, and he's going to have the advantage. There is no rain falling at the moment, but the track is so wet.
So this level of rain is the worst we expect.
We go on board with a man on a mission. Denmark's Kevin Magnussen out of the spray, about to take P5 when he stands on the brakes. He's in another league right now on that full wet tyre.
He's 10 seconds off the lead of the race after 3 laps in 5th position. The field spread is very big, but he is absolutely charging, and now he's staring at the guys fighting for a podium just in front of him. The top 4 on the grid, still the top 4 as we stand. Hulkenberg has passed Leclerc, so he's ahead of both Ferraris now as well, but Magnussen, this is the beauty of Kevin Magnussen, getting his elbows out, making the moves. Even if he's got 10 points on his licence and he's 1 crash away from a race ban, he doesn't care. He's still pushing.
Haas went the different way to anyone else in the field. One car is in 5th. That's the sight of Nico Hülkenberg. Moving up, he's gained 8 places off the start line. He's in 9th at the moment.
It's just fun, isn't it? And it's great fun for Magnussen, who's got more grip than anyone around him. Now on the tail of Oscar Piastri, who can't turn that McLaren. And K-Mag just squeezes on the throttle, and he's going to be with the McLaren in 4th position. He's round the McLaren in 4th position on the exit.
Kevin Magnussen having the time of his life. From 14th on the grid, on the extreme wet tyre, he has moved up to 4th position, and there's nothing that any of them are going to be able to do. He is passing for fun in Montreal.
People on Inters now going faster than people on X-Wets.
That is beginning to switch. Max Verstappen did a 1:33.8 last time around. Kevin Magnussen did a 1:34.5. And you can see the track conditions with the graphic on the right-hand side. Now it's becoming an intermediate track. We had a lot of fun with Kevin Magnussen, but now Haas have conceded that it's time. Oh, it's slow, it's so slow. And after all of that overtaking, it's a slow stop for Kevin Magnussen, who sees all of that hard work undone.
Oh no, the strategy actually was still relatively with them, because an intermediate tyre now that he could put on, he should have come out roughly still in the midfield melee. It wasn't a disaster, but the pit stop was, and all of that hard work is over for Kevin Magnussen. He's still in the race. You can see he's exiting in 12th position still. He could have been in the top 10, bolting on a new set of inters. So Hülkenberg now taking the punishment for that early gain by going on the full wet. They can only be hoping to take this through to a slick now, but he's got a long way to go.
Expecting a short rain cell, duration 5 minutes, in around 15 laps.
There is 9/10 of a second for the lead of the race, but you are focusing on Daniel Ricciardo getting out of the slipstream and getting up to 7th position. He is past Hülkenberg. He will not be the last one to do so.
As soon as you go off that line, there's standing water on the entry to turn 1. It's the Pirelli tyres here are just drying the track so much.
Oh!
Verstappen's off.
Max Verstappen dropped back a few seconds ago. He goes off at turn number 1, chasing down the lead of this Grand Prix. He's now looking in the left mirror and the right mirror, looking to see whether he can hang on to second. That is the dominant driver of recent times in Formula One, going deep. This one on a knife edge. Russell continues to lead, as he has done for every single lap so far today. The most laps that he's led since 2022 in a single Grand Prix. Can Norris line up for the overtake? Here's the opportunity for Lando Norris, who started in 3rd, trying to claim 2nd place. How powerful is the DRS? There's your answer. Lando Norris gets past Max Verstappen and takes 2nd place in the Grand Prix.
So the fastest man on the circuit has now made a pass, and he's looking at the back of the race leader. There's confirmation, fastest lap, as he was doing it as well, taking it off his teammate, who responds with another fastest lap. The McLarens are coming into their own.
Down to the hairpin we go once again. It's very close between Lando Norris and George Russell. Once again, super confident on the brakes for Lando Norris.
And once again, my heart was in my mouth there as he was closing into the back of the Mercedes, just waiting for him not to stop the car enough. This is an opportunity. Russell's not had to defend from the DRS yet.
This is the battle for the lead. Norris moving past, under braking and going through. George Russell is over the chicane, but he's in 2nd place now. It might be about to come 3rd position, because he's lost the lead. Verstappen's gone by, and Lando Norris leads the Canadian Grand Prix.
It's all change, and Russell's 21 laps, brilliantly measured out front, controlling it, has come undone as well. He's going to find Piastri soon attacking him for 3rd. Norris was 2.3 seconds quicker than Verstappen on the last lap. He's soon going to have a pit stop gap to the rest of the field. He's in a different league today. Piastri in the same car now is going to find the issue that Lewis Hamilton is finding.
Oh, car off the road and into the barrier. Logan Sargent with damage to the Williams. He's gone off for the 2nd time in the Grand Prix, and the yellow flag is flying around this circuit. Has he kept it going like he did last time? The answer appears to be no, and the yellow flag is out with the rain forecast imminently, and Oscar Piastri still chasing down Russell and Verstappen. Lando Norris has a 10-second lead, having got past just a few laps ago. The safety car is deployed, and there is Logan Sargent.
Norris has gone through and I don't think he's come into the pits. He's come past us and he hasn't pitted. There's now an opportunity for the likes of Verstappen, Russell and Piastri to dive in. Surely this is now a new intermediate territory.
Verstappen, Russell and Piastri, second, third and fourth, come into the pits.
Red Bull's pit crew normally so good. Russell was released very quickly.
Oh, it's tight, but they just cover off the Mercedes and they will leave the pits in the same order that they entered.
Okay, where is now Lando on the track? Is Norris sitting behind a safety car or is he just running to a lap time delta?
And the driver who had disappeared from Verstappen and Russell and Piastri now comes into the pits as Verstappen, Russell and Piastri go past.
So this is going to be close then, because Norris has lost a load of time behind the safety car. There you can see Verstappen.
Max Verstappen is going to retake the lead. There's that line. They were racing to that point. McLaren versus McLaren. Lando Norris is P3. Lando Norris got to that line behind Verstappen, behind Russell, but crucially ahead of Oscar Piastri, and that is how they decide things under the safety car. Our race leader back to where he started in third. We have most of the cars, all of the cars on intermediate. Charles Leclerc has risked the hard tyres. He's hoping for something truly extraordinary. The rain is closing in nearby, and Verstappen has aced the restart. Let's look at the overtakes further back. One Williams still left in the Grand Prix is Alex Albon, and he is fighting his way past the RB, fighting his way past the Alpine, and that is dramatic stuff. To get up to ninth, he got past Daniel Ricciardo and Esteban Ocon.
One of the great moves. Brilliant stuff.
Pierre Gasly looks like he's coming into the pits. A new tyre, and it's a slick tyre. That is going to cause a huge amount of reaction. 2.9 seconds. Everyone will be looking at Gasly's sector times as the French driver leaves the pits. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix now belonging to George Russell.
So Gasly's become a guinea pig at the moment.
Oh, off the road you go with Lando Norris, and he went deep into turn number one. How he's done that and stayed ahead. His Harvey will be going a mile a minute. Lewis Hamilton from fifth place. Well, we've seen Gasly come in and take the slick tyres along with Valtteri Bottas and Kevin Magnussen, but a contender at the front of the field is surely going to the slick tyres on the racetrack. Lando Norris has done the fastest lap of the Grand Prix as Hamilton pits for slicks. The last three cars on intermediate tyres are the first three cars in the Grand Prix.
It's going to be a pit stop race. In goes Verstappen, in goes Russell. No, Norris stays out. Big decision there for McLaren. Hamilton does the fastest middle sector of the race. He was 1 second quicker than Verstappen in the middle sector as Verstappen had an in-lap.
That looks slow for George Russell as he rejoins and Red Bull cover off the move. You can still see it's really slippy at this part of the circuit. Norris has been firing this car around the 14 turns of Montreal. Has he built himself a gap as he comes into the pits? So you lose 18 seconds. You've got the pit stop as well. Remember, tyre temperature will be an issue. Lando Norris on the right, Max Verstappen on the left-hand side of your picture. You've got a slightly wet pit exit, but you've got Verstappen going through turn number one, and Lando Norris is going to be standing on the power in the lead of the Canadian Grand Prix for a second, but the tyres aren't up to temperature, and it was worth the gamble, but Verstappen retakes first place in the race.
Russell's right back with him, and then we're getting DRS at the end of the next corner. We're coming up towards the hairpin. I thought Lando might have got himself safe, but he's going to have to defend again, I think, on this lap.
Okay, Lando Norris, there's the lock-up. Does that open it for George Russell? Nothing between the two British drivers. Lando Norris under serious pressure now. He jumped Russell with the pit stop, an inventive strategy for McLaren, but there's nothing between the two of them. It's drying all the time. The error into the hairpin opens the door for George Russell to take second place in the Grand Prix. Russell 1:18.1 last time around. Max Verstappen 1:18.5.
Oh, Russell's gone in deep, has he?
Yes, he has. Does he open the door? Lando Norris is off the racing line, but he's back into second place. Russell goes off the road. Lando goes off the racing line, and they're scrambling over the road for second place. It swaps again.
Yeah, clambering over the curbs, then it got damp on the exit, and that's when Norris came through fighting the car. He immediately, I think, takes a tear off as well as he's fighting the car back towards the dry line. They're now back to how they were after the pits, 1.1 seconds between Norris and Russell.
Perez has brought out the yellow flag. He went deep, he did continue, and the rear wing has taken a battering. Oh, off the road goes Carlos Sainz, and he is rejoining Alex Albon involved in that. He's just to the right-hand side, I believe, as Sainz on the slip and slide part of the circuit. Can he get back in the race?
Yeah, he's just getting there, but Albon's in the wall on the right-hand side, so they must have come to blows then. That was on the edge of the top 10.
So this is going to be, first of all, Sergio Perez got deep, got wide, onto the wet part of the circuit, spinning to the wall.
So Sainz has his own moment. Oh, it's gutting for Albon.
So unlucky. Has to react to taking either the left or the right. Sainz spinning in to the Williams driver and eliminating him from the Grand Prix. George Russell comes into the pits. He brings his teammate as well. A new set of slick tyres. Hamilton has gone for the hard as he rejoins. And George Russell, I believe, is on the mediums.
Interesting decision there. So Russell's given up track position to Piastri by doing that. Hamilton had a free stop. He emerges still comfortably clear of Alonso.
And Max Verstappen is waiting. So the last chicane on this circuit, he will go past the wall of champions, turn 13, then turn 14. He will stand on the throttle and he will try and leave all of those behind. The green flag flies at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. We go racing all the way to the end now. That is perfectly timed for the three-time world champion. Norris will be trying to stay within a second as we go racing once again in Montreal. Max Verstappen's lead is now 2.5 seconds. Lando Norris doesn't seem to have an answer, and so we're looking at the battle with the second McLaren. The man from Melbourne staying ahead, but for how much longer? Russell trying to power around the outside. They're close to contact. They're nearly banging wheels into the corner. Russell rejoins. Piastri stays ahead, P3, and Lewis Hamilton's roaring by as well, up to fourth place.
Yeah, Russell was ahead into the corner, but just couldn't commit to the turning because Piastri was still there, had no choice but to bundle over the curves and go over the wet stuff, and Hamilton picks up the pieces. He's got a lot of pace, Russell, but just couldn't quite complete the move, and Piastri held firm. He's entitled to do that, goes side by side into the corner, and he's just about clung on to third place.
Daniel Ricciardo, great qualifying result yesterday, but a false start gave him a 5-second penalty. Meanwhile, in the battle for the podium places, Lewis Hamilton has the DRS, and that Mercedes does get ahead before the braking zone. Lewis Hamilton in Montreal. He is just a master, and he's fought his way by. His teammate couldn't make the pass. He did the lap later, and it's a fastest lap of the Grand Prix as well. Hamilton on the podium. Lewis Hamilton currently has the bonus point for fastest lap. He might have the hard tyre on, but it's a fresh hard tyre, and he got a great exit from the hairpin. That's turn 11. By the time that he got to the final chicane, there was a chance. Now, can Russell get by this time around? That's his aim. That's what he's done. Russell gets past, up to fourth position, and Piastri goes to the podium, to fifth place. That gamble to stop the Mercedes has elevated them in the Grand Prix. Hamilton in third.
Let's see what happened to Yuki.
Chasing down Esteban Ocon, but he went off the road at turn 8, put it flat to the floor, spins the car, is narrowly avoided by those behind, and sees the point-scoring opportunity disappear. The V-carb out of the points. Oh, that was close with the Haas.
They're fighting each other now, the Mercedes, for third position. Russell's got the DRS. Here he comes.
Russell versus Hamilton, the two silver arrows heading to the final chicane.
We are racing. Just remember, it goes without saying, keep it clean, please.
He had the warning, but he got the place. We go again to turn number 1. Russell got ahead. Hamilton tried to defend, and Russell retakes his position on the podium. Pass, repass, and pass again. What a Canadian Grand Prix it has been from the top 3 on the road. Well, we've had everything. It's been wet, it's been dry, but when he got the lead, did you really think this man would throw it away? For the 60th time in Formula 1, Max Verstappen takes the win. Red Bull back on top. Max Verstappen wins the Canadian Grand Prix. Lando Norris is second, and it's George Russell across the line to complete the podium. Hamilton takes the bonus point for fastest lap. Oscar Piastri completes the top 5. We are racing all the way to the end. The Alpines are only separated by a half a second. The two Alpines, the two Haas drivers, all the way to the line on the 70th and last lap. It was Alonso in 6th, Stroll in 7th. Daniel Ricciardo comes home in 8th place. Then it's It's Gasly and Ocon who managed to make it to the finish without contact this time, but it doesn't matter what you throw at Max Verstappen, he's got an answer. 60 times a winner in Formula One.
Yes, what a race, guys. Not easy, but we did it. Great job, everyone. Yeah, made the right calls. So, congrats, really, really good. Oh, nice. I enjoyed that one.
There were errors from all of the top three today at various moments of the race, but when it counted on that final restart, that restart lap, absolutely devastating. And once he was out of DRS range, Norris could not claw it back.